The sound of shattering glass split the quiet night. Amara stumbled backward, her hand pressed against her face, blood warm on her fingers. Daniel, what are you doing? Her voice trembled. But he didn't answer. Instead, he turned and left, leaving her in the ruins of their kitchen, a place that used to smell like home, now filled with betrayal. It was the last time she'd let herself feel blind. Literally. A year ago, a car accident had taken her sight, leaving her in darkness. Daniel had been there at every hospital visit, every therapy session, or so she thought. You can't just leave me like this, Amara whispered to the empty room. Her hands moved over the counter, searching for something, anything to anchor her. A week later, the surgery had worked. Her vision came back slowly, blurry at first, like watching the world through rain-streaked glass. And then, clear. Too clear. That's when she started noticing things. Small things. Shadows in Daniel's stories, unfamiliar names in texts, the smell of perfume that wasn't hers. Amara, you're imagining things, he said one night, forcing a smile. But she knew better. Her gut screamed louder than his words. She started documenting everything. Phone messages, receipts, the quiet hints that he thought she'd never notice. Every day she learned more. Every day, a plan formed in her mind, as precise as a surgeon's scalpel. One evening, she watched from the doorway as Daniel laughed, leaning close to a woman with long blonde hair, too familiar with his touch. Amara's heart sunk, but then hardened. Not anymore, she murmured. Weeks passed. She played the part of the loving, blind wife perfectly. Daniel never suspected that Amara was no longer the woman who stumbled through life dependent on him. He thought she was weak, incapable of seeing the truth. But now, she saw everything. Amara's friends noticed the change. You look different, her best friend, Leela, said. Something's changed in you. You're sharper. I'm learning, Amara said quietly, letting the words hang like a secret in the air. Daniel continued, oblivious, flaunting his affair in small, careless ways. Texts left open, late-night whispers, sudden trips he couldn't explain. Every detail Amara catalogued. Every moment fueled her plan. One night, as Daniel slept, Amara sat in their bedroom, staring at the ceiling. The thought came unbidden. I could leave. Tonight. But I'll make him feel the betrayal he made me feel. She imagined it vividly, the look on his face when he realized she knew everything. The shame, the fear, the desperation. She allowed herself a small smile. You've been playing me, Daniel whispered one morning, his voice trembling, catching her off guard as she stood in the kitchen. Amara turned slowly, her eyes piercing. You've been playing yourself, she said. And then, she left. The first step was simple. She rented a small apartment in the city, just a few blocks away. But it was more than that. She started reaching out to lawyers, securing finances, preparing evidence to confront Daniel without risking herself. She had learned the hard way that blind trust could destroy you. Every encounter with Daniel now was a game. A dangerous one. He said, I don't know what you mean, Amara. Everything's fine. And she smiled. Only she didn't smile with warmth. She smiled with knowledge. Everything's fine, she echoed softly. Everything's fine. But it wasn't fine. Not even close. That evening, she caught him checking his phone in the living room, glancing at something he thought she couldn't see. Amara's mind raced. Should she confront him now? Or wait? Wait until the moment was perfect. Her phone buzzed with a notification. A message from Leela. He's leaving the city next week for a business trip. Alone. The timing was perfect. Amara leaned back in her chair, letting the tension build in her chest. Every moment had been leading to this. Every betrayal catalogued, every lie stored like ammunition. Are you sure you want to do this? She whispered to herself. Her reflection in the darkened window stared back. The woman in the glass was no longer the timid, trusting wife she once was. She was strategy. She was justice. She was vision. Daniel continued his lies, blind to the storm gathering behind Amara's calm facade. He laughed with friends, drank with colleagues, flaunted his freedom. But Amara knew the truth. And now, she was ready to make him see it. Amara packed her bag with deliberate care. Not just clothes, evidence. Receipts, photos, texts, little proof Daniel would never suspect she had. Every item a piece of the puzzle, every detail a potential weapon. She looked at herself in the mirror. Her reflection stared back, unflinching. Gone was the blind, trusting wife. The woman who once flinched at every argument was gone. Amara, are you really going through with this? She whispered. Her voice trembled, not with fear, but anticipation. Across town, Daniel poured himself another drink. He laughed at some joke he'd heard at work, completely unaware. She'll never see it coming, he muttered under his breath. Amara's phone buzzed. A text from Leela, tonight. She's leaving for the trip at midnight. Don't miss it. She nodded, although Leela couldn't see her. The plan was set. Timing would be everything. Later that night, she walked into their shared home like a ghost. Every creak of the floorboard was a rhythm she controlled. She stopped outside the bedroom door. Daniel's snores filled the room, oblivious. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the surge of power. She'd been underestimated for too long. One mistake, she thought. Just one, and he'll never recover. Amara moved quietly, her fingers grazing his phone on the bedside table. She'd memorized the passcode weeks ago. Years of subtle observation finally paid off. She opened it. Texts. Photos. Plans for dinners, trips, gifts he'd given to the other woman. Everything. Her heart pounded, not with heartbreak, but with clarity. Gotcha, she whispered softly, almost to herself. Morning came, and Daniel noticed the change immediately. Amara had made coffee, his favorite, and set the table like nothing had happened. Her eyes, clear and piercing, met his. Good morning, she said softly. He froze. Something was different. Amara, you look rested. She smiled faintly. I slept well. Daniel tried to shake it off, but every glance he stole, every hesitation in his voice, betrayed him. They sat across from each other, silence stretched like a tightrope. Finally, he broke it. You're acting strange. Is everything okay? Amara leaned in slightly, her eyes locked on his. Daniel, do you really think I haven't noticed? What do you mean? His voice cracked. I know everything, she said. Her tone calm, yet icy. I know about her. I know about the dinners. The lies. Every detail. Daniel's face turned pale. His hands shook. I don't know what you're talking about. Amara's smile grew. Do you want me to show you? He swallowed hard. The room felt smaller, tighter, suffocating. Amara reached into her bag and pulled out her first piece of evidence. A photo. Daniel's face drained of color. Amara, no, please, You don't? She cut him off. SHH. Just listen. She laid out every text, every hidden message, every small betrayal he had thought invisible. Daniel tried to protest. You can't, this isn't fair. Fair? Amara laughed, sharp and unexpected. Do you know what fair is, Daniel? Fair is you feeling even a fraction of the pain you caused me. Fair is realizing I'm no longer blind, literally or figuratively. He stared at her, disbelief turning to fear. Amara. I can fix this. I can. No, she interrupted. It's too late. You had your chance. She left the house shortly after, every step measured, every movement precise. Daniel's hands hovered over his phone, as if he could undo the evidence, the truth, the betrayal itself. But he couldn't. Amara's small apartment was quiet. Safe. Secure. She unpacked, but didn't touch the photos or receipts. Not yet. The final confrontation would be public. Controlled. Cinematic. Perfect. Days passed. Daniel tried contacting her. Calls. Messages. Apologies. Lies dressed up as explanations. Amara let him talk. She saved every word. Every lie. Every plea. One evening, she arranged for a casual dinner with mutual friends, unbeknownst to Daniel. A group gathering, nothing suspicious. Just a few laughs, light conversation. And then she dropped the first bomb. Daniel, she said casually, holding her phone. Do you want to explain this? Every eye turned to him. He froze. The texts, the receipts, the hidden calls, all projected silently from her phone. Gasps. Whispers. Stares. Daniel stumbled. Amara, how? This isn't, you can't. Amara's voice cut through the chaos. I can, Daniel. I always could. I just chose to wait until the timing was right. The group looked between them, confusion turning into shock. Daniel's world collapsed piece by piece. You thought I was blind, she said, her tone soft now, almost pitying. But I've been watching. Listening. Learning. Planning. Daniel's face crumpled. Amara, please. She shook her head. No. Not anymore. You won't control me. You won't define me. Not ever again. That night, Daniel left in shame, leaving her in silence. But it wasn't silence she felt, it was freedom. Amara sat on her balcony, city lights flickering below, and breathed deeply. She allowed herself a small smile. Not of victory over him, but of discovery. She realized she was stronger than she'd ever known. Stronger than betrayal, stronger than fear. The phone buzzed again. A message from Leela, he's gone. But are you truly free, or is something else waiting? Amara paused. She stared at the screen, letting the words sink in. Something else waiting. And she knew she wasn't finished. The city was quiet that night, but Amara's mind buzzed like a live wire. Daniel's humiliation had been public, yet she felt no satisfaction in revenge alone. There was something deeper to uncover, something that went beyond betrayal. Her phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. I know what you're doing. Be careful. Amara froze. Her heart raced. Was it Daniel? Or someone else entirely? Her mind ran through possibilities, enemies she didn't know she had, friends turned into spies, secrets still buried. She tucked the phone away, steadying herself. One thing was clear, Daniel thought he was dangerous, but Amara had learned the simple truth. He had no idea who he was really dealing with now. The next morning, she returned to the scene of her public confrontation, the cafe where friends had witnessed his disgrace. Daniel wasn't there, but whispers followed her. Eyes darted, murmurs trailed. She smiled faintly. She had control over the narrative. She could see it unravel in real time. And then she saw him. Daniel, standing across the street, watching her. Panic and desperation etched into every line of his face. He clenched his fists, but he stayed put. Amara walked calmly, almost deliberately close enough for him to see, yet distant enough to avoid a scene. Daniel, she called softly, but loud enough for him to hear. He looked around, startled. His pride, once so towering, now shattered. Amara, wait. She shook her head. No. We're done with waiting. And then the text from the unknown number flashed in her mind again. She realized that Daniel wasn't her only problem. Someone else knew. And that someone had power, patience, and a reason to interfere. At that moment, a car pulled up beside her. The window rolled down, revealing a woman in sunglasses. Amara, she asked, voice low but urgent. You don't know what he's capable of. Amara's pulse quickened. Who are you? Someone who's seen him before. Someone who knows exactly how far he'll go if he feels cornered. Listen, you have leverage. But he has connections, people willing to help him erase mistakes. You need a plan, or it could get ugly. Amara nodded slowly, absorbing the weight of the warning. Her eyes narrowed. She had thought she was ready. But reality had other plans. She returned home, adrenaline coursing through her. Her small apartment suddenly felt too large, too safe. The city outside seemed darker, more dangerous. And yet, she felt clarity. She had to finish what she started, and she had to be smarter. The next day, Daniel tried calling again. She didn't answer. Instead, she prepared another layer of the trap. Legal documents, witnesses, copies of messages, everything stored digitally, ready to be released if needed. Later, she met Leela at a quiet coffee shop. Are you scared? Leela asked, her voice low. Because I am. He's unpredictable. Amara smiled faintly. I've been scared for a year, Leela. This is strategy. Fear doesn't control me anymore. But even as she spoke, a tiny shiver ran down her spine. The unknown message, the mysterious warning, it reminded her that control could be an illusion. By evening, she returned home to find her apartment door slightly ajar. Her breath caught. No sign of forced entry, no stolen items. But the message was clear, someone had been there. Watching. Waiting. She didn't panic. She had rehearsed for every scenario. Every worst-case possibility. Her fingers traced the edge of her phone, ready to call Leela or the authorities. And then the sound came, a soft knock. She froze. Every nerve alert. Who is it? She called, voice steady. No answer. Only silence. Amara opened the door slowly. Empty hallway. No footprints. Nothing. But on the welcome mat was a single envelope, stark white, with her name written neatly in block letters. Her pulse raced. She picked it up. Inside, a single photograph, Daniel, smiling, holding hands with the blonde woman from weeks ago. But behind them, just out of frame, another figure, a shadowed man, watching. Amara's stomach twisted. So, he's not alone. Her mind raced. Whoever had sent this knew everything. Or at least, enough to manipulate fear. But she refused to let panic control her. Every beat, every plan she had executed until now, had prepared her for chaos. She would adapt. She always did. Her phone buzzed again. This time, Daniel's name flashed. She didn't answer. Instead, she sent a message of her own. "We're done. Don't contact me again." She placed the phone down and stared out the window. The city lights twinkled like distant stars, calm yet deceptive. Amara realized something fundamental. Winning wasn't just about exposing Daniel. It was about surviving him, surviving the web of secrets, surviving the unknown forces now circling her life. And in that moment, she smiled. Not because she was safe, but because she understood her own power. She had been underestimated, misread, and underestimated again. But she had vision now, both literal and metaphorical, and she would not falter. A soft knock startled her again. She approached slowly, the envelope still in her hand. The tension called tight, anticipation sharp. The door creaked open. No one was there. But a voice whispered from the shadows, low and chilling, "You think this ends tonight, Amara? It's only just beginning." Her eyes narrowed, heart steady. "Then let it begin," she said, voice strong, commanding. And she knew, whatever came next, she would be ready. The next morning, Amara woke to the sound of her phone vibrating on the nightstand. Another message from the unknown number, "Meet me tonight. Alone. If you want answers." She stared at it, a mixture of caution and curiosity swirling inside her. The open loop of the unknown threat had to be resolved. But she knew better than to rush blindly. Preparation was everything. By evening, she was ready. Her apartment, normally quiet, now buzzed with controlled energy. Laptop open, backups ready, recordings catalogued, every piece of evidence at her fingertips. She dressed simply, but with authority in every movement. As she stepped out into the cool night air, the city seemed unusually quiet, almost conspiratorial. Her senses were sharp. Every shadow, every flicker of movement could be a clue. She arrived at the meeting point, small, dimly lit park on the edge of the city. The glow of streetlights cast long, airy shadows. Her heart beat steadily. She had anticipated fear. She had embraced it. "Amara," a voice called from behind a bench. Calm, measured, and almost chilling. She approached, her gaze locked on the figure. It was a man, tall, lean, dressed in black, features obscured by shadows. "Who are you?" she asked. Her voice was steady, commanding. "I'm someone who knows Daniel better than you think," he said. "And someone who can help you finish what you started. But you need to understand, this isn't just about him. It's about everyone who thinks they can control you." Amara's mind raced. Was this an ally or another layer of danger? She studied him carefully. "And why should I trust you?" The man chuckled softly. "You won't. But you don't need to. You just need to act. Timing is everything." Before she could respond, a sound behind her made her spin. Daniel stood at the edge of the park, pale, his eyes wild with desperation. "Amara! Stop! This isn't necessary." Amara's gaze didn't waver. "Daniel, it's more than necessary. It's overdue." He took a step forward. "Please, I can explain. I'll change." You won't," she interrupted. "You never would. You had 10 years to show who you are. And now everyone knows." The shadowed man stepped aside, revealing a hidden figure, a private investigator she had hired days ago. The evidence was complete: photos, messages, financial records, all documented, undeniable. Daniel's face crumpled as the truth unfolded before him. Friends and neighbors, who had been quietly observing, began whispering. His lies, once a shield, shattered like glass. Amara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of years lift from her shoulders. Do you see now, Daniel? This is the reality you created. And I survived it. He dropped to his knees, voice trembling. Amara, please. No, she said, firm and final. There's no plea, no apology that can undo this. I trusted you, loved you, and you betrayed everything. But I'm not broken. I'm free. The city lights reflected in her eyes, bright and unwavering. She had regained more than sight, she had reclaimed herself. The shadowed man nodded once, silently approving. Amara turned, leaving Daniel kneeling in the park, humiliated and powerless. Walking away, she felt a strange calm settle over her. Freedom wasn't loud or dramatic, it was quiet, steady, and resolute. Every step away from Daniel was a step toward her own life, unshackled and unafraid. Her phone buzzed one last time. A message from Leela, you did it. You're finally free. Amara smiled faintly, typing back, not just free. I'm awake. As she disappeared into the city night, the story didn't end with vengeance or anger. It ended with clarity, empowerment, and a promise that she would never allow anyone to define her life again. Amara returned to her apartment, the city lights spilling across the walls like streaks of fire and gold. She sunk into the couch, letting herself breathe for the first time in weeks. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the sheer intensity of what had just unfolded. She thought about the year she had spent blind. The quiet nights, the therapy sessions, the silent fears. Daniel had believed her weakness was permanent. That she'd never see the truth. But she had. And in seeing, she had reclaimed everything he tried to steal. Her life. Her voice. Her power. Her phone buzzed. Leela's text again. You okay? Feeling victorious? Amara smiled faintly, typing back, more than victorious. I'm awake. Fully awake. The truth hit her in waves. Freedom wasn't a single moment, it was a series of choices, each one heavier than the last. Every lie Daniel told, every betrayal he committed, had built a ladder to this moment. And she had climbed it, step by step, silently, deliberately. Her mind drifted to the shadows that had appeared in the park. The unknown figure. The warning. Had they truly been a threat, or had they been a test? She didn't know. And maybe she never would. The uncertainty lingered, but instead of fear, it gave her clarity. Life was unpredictable. People were capable of both cruelty and cunning. But she was capable too. A knock on her door startled her. She froze, scanning the shadows outside. No one. Just the echo of her heartbeat and the city's hum. Her reflection in the darkened window stared back, eyes sharp and unyielding. Amara, she whispered to herself. You're ready for anything now. And in that moment, she realized the full extent of her transformation. She wasn't just a survivor. She was a strategist, a force, someone who understood that life's betrayals could either break you or forge you into something stronger. Her phone buzzed one last time. Daniel's name flashed briefly. She didn't respond. She didn't need to. The man who had tried to control her life was powerless now. She had broken free without hatred, without chaos, simply with vision, patience, and courage. Amara looked out over the city skyline. The night was alive, full of possibilities. And for the first time in a long time, she felt a thrilling certainty. Her life was hers. Completely. She whispered softly, almost to herself, "This isn't the end. It's only the beginning." As the screen fades to black, the words appear. If you've ever been underestimated, betrayed, or told you couldn't see the truth, remember Amara. Stand. Fight. Watch. Learn.